family, welcome back to my channel. So today for you guys I have a marshmallow mug Christmas DIY using Dollar Tree products. Now last year I uploaded this tutorial showing you guys how to make fake whipped cream using Dollar Tree products, and when I made it I was using these marshmallow mugs that I got so many questions about. If I made them, if I didn't, where did I get them from? They are from a brand called 180 Degrees. I ended up getting them off of eBay because I don't know if that brand carries the mugs anymore, but I know you can find like a knockoff on Amazon if you're interested. But in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how you can make something similar using Dollar Tree products. I will say this, I used my Cricut to do it, but the only difference between my Cricut is just that it cut the shape out for me versus me having to do it with a scissors. So if you want to do it without a Cricut, you don't need one. You just have to cut out the shape of the faces yourself, or you can make it using markers, glass markers. So I'm showing you guys how to make the mugs as well as how to make fake whipped cream and hot chocolate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to 5,000 thumbs up. And yeah, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you're notified every single time that I upload. I do lots of Dollar Tree DIYs, and especially during Christmas time I try to get a lot of these Christmas DIYs out. So now let's begin the video.
Let's start with the bigger mugs. From Dollar Tree, you want to go and pick up any mug that you like. Now, I tried to choose some mugs that looked a little bit more like a marshmallow to me. They just had more rounded edges, or just the appearance, it was just wider. You could choose any mug that you like. These are the two ones that I chose. Now for the marshmallow faces, I bought these off of Etsy. They are $3.99. Now it's an instant download that I printed off using my printer and Cricut. You do not need a Cricut to do this. You can use your printer and just use scissors to cut out the faces. And if you want something sticky, use sticker paper, print it out, and then cut out the faces. You can also use markers and draw them on yourself. You will have to resize the faces to fit your mug. I'm using the regular size faces that they get, as well as those smaller ones that have extra fudge, long fudge. And I'm taking those long pieces of fudge and I am putting them at the top of my mug. I didn't end up putting it all around the mug, just the top, because this is decoration to me. It's only going to be facing one side, and I just didn't have enough ink, so I'm doing it mainly in the front. If you wanted to kind of go even the fudge around the cup, you'll have to end up cutting pieces of the fudge so that it goes on more evenly. If you just try to take the strip and put it straight at the top, some of the fudge is going to start going kind of like up toward the inside of the cup. Next up, I take one of the longer pieces of fudge, and I don't know how many times you can hear me say fudge, and I place that in the middle of the front, and then I add the face. The PDF that I purchased off of Etsy, there's 4 different faces to choose from. 2 of them are alike and the other 2 are alike. The only difference is one is a smile and the other one has like its tongue sticking out. So I did 2 mugs where the eyes are open, and then 2 mugs where the eyes have those like eyelashes, and one of each with each type of Dollar Tree mug. Because one of the mugs I got was wider than the other, and then one of the mugs I got, the top kind of flares out. This was one of the things I made last year that like I was so excited about. And it's fake whipped cream. So this was one of my shining moments last year with my Dollar Tree DIYs. So from Dollar Tree, you want to pick up some of their foam board. And you are going to take your mug and outline or trace the top of the mug onto the foam board. Then you'll cut that foam board piece out. I suggest cutting a little bit bigger than what you traced out, because it's better to overcut than it is to undercut. Now, after I have it cut out, and I just use my scissors to do this, I'm going to be using these baseballs from Dollar Tree. There's plastic 3 come in a pack, and I cut the baseball in half. The reason I'm doing that is so I don't have to use too much caulk, and I have something under there to kind of fluff up the fake whipped cream, and it doesn't take as long to dry, so it's just a nice base under there. So after I have it cut, I go ahead and place half of the baseball in the center of that piece of foam board. To do the fake whipped cream, you're going to need a cake decorating kit from Dollar Tree. There's 4 different nozzles that you can choose from, and then you're going to use caulk. You can also use spackle if you want to, but caulk is just easier for me to use. So what you do is you want to cut the front of the caulk tube, but don't cut too much, otherwise the nozzle is not going to go on there nicely. And what the heck, Matt is using a drill and you probably hear it. Dang it. Nothing but a professional over here. Okay, I'm kidding. So what you do is you take the caulk with the nozzle and you just put the caulk all around the foam board and the baseball bat, so it just looks like a bunch of whipped cream. Oh, there he goes again. Okay, I'm gonna have to go tell him, boy, you gotta stop, and if you're not stopping, then I'm gonna have to stop. Let's see who wins. Okay, I'm back. He's stopping for a moment. Anyways, so when I was applying the caulk, I was holding the nozzle while I was squirting the caulk out, and I was able eventually to just place the nozzle right over the opening of the caulk without having to hold the nozzle. So I think it just depends on how much of the front of the caulk container you cut off. Okay, I'll try not to say caulk anymore, but you know it's gonna happen again. Okay, next up I'm gonna create some fake marshmallows, and I'm just using some clay from Dollar Tree. I'm taking the white clay and I'm just molding it into a marshmallow shape, and then I go ahead and put that on top of my fake whipped cream. I only had one pack of the Dollar Tree clay. I wish I had more because I would have liked to add more of the fake marshmallows. Now I decided to do sprinkles. This time around I'm using clay, whereas last year I used actual sprinkles. So I'm just using red and green clay and molding it into sprinkle shapes. You can use real sprinkles if you want to. I mean, I don't even know if sprinkles mold like that. I have no clue. Mines are still good, but this time around I'm just going to be using clay instead. And then after I have that all done, I added a straw. You can get like red and white straws at Dollar Tree. I cut a piece off and then I placed that inside of the caulk. Now it takes about 24 hours to dry as long as you put something in the middle of that fake whipped cream. If you don't, it's going to take much longer if you just used caulk. And there's a good chance that it might kind of like deflate a little bit on you. It won't be too bad, but it will deflate a little bit just because all of the weight from the caulk kind of comes down. So make sure you put something under it. For two of the mugs, I decided to do bigger fake whipped creams. One of them you just saw had the marshmallows and the sprinkles. For the second one, I'm using peppermint. You could use real peppermint if you want to. I was able to find this fake peppermint. It's an ornament from Hobby Lobby, and it was only $2 on sale. So $3.99 originally, half off. It was $2, and I just cut it down and placed that inside of the caulk. I also added some of the fake sprinkles to that and a straw. You can go ahead and use whatever color sprinkles you want. I'm just using green and red because it's like Christmas colors, but if you just wanted something all year round, you can go ahead and do all the colors and it'd be super cute. Originally, I was planning on doing only whipped cream for all 4 of my mugs, but then I decided to do hot chocolate. So again, you'll take your mugs, foam board, and trace the shape of the mugs on top of the foam board. But this time around, you want to cut a little bit under that shape. So you traced it out, so a little bit under your pencil or your pen where you traced it out. Cut a little bit smaller so that it can slide into the inside of your mug. And you don't want it to be too much smaller, just enough that it can go inside of it, but not too much so that it like doesn't fall to the bottom of the mug. So to the first one that I did, I just painted the foam board a brown color, and then I wanted to add marshmallows that I made out of clay, but like I told you guys earlier, I didn't have enough packs. I only had one, so I ran out of the white. So instead I compromised and I just ended up using cotton. So it doesn't necessarily look exactly like a marshmallow, but it's close enough. It's all I add on hand, but if you do this, I recommend getting enough white clay so that you can make some marshmallows. I decided to add a gingerbread man. I got this one for 75 cents. I think it was 75 cents or $1 at Hobby Lobby. So it's the same price you would pay for something at Dollar Tree, except I just got it at Hobby Lobby. And you could go ahead and make one out of foam board if you want to, using Dollar Tree products. I then ended up making another one with that hot chocolate vibe to it, theme, whatever you want to call it. But this time around I used hot glue, and I wish I would have did that with the other one. That way the foam board was nice and secured inside of there. So I used the hot glue, put it around the edges of the foam board inside of the mug, and then I used the hot glue to kind of create waves, so it kind of looks like the hot chocolate, like I shook it up or something. And then I painted on top of that with my brown paint. and I decided to add fake whipped cream to this. I didn't put anything to the center of it just because it was going to be so small, and it already had like a pretty good base under it. I added the fake sprinkles on top of that, and Nat is using the drill again. To this mug off camera, I ended up adding a gingerbread man as well. So I decided to make some smaller little mugs, and I'm just using this tea set from Dollar Tree, and it's the same concept. You put some stuff at the bottom of this to kind of fill it up. I actually put some pieces of foam board, and then I put the caulk. If you fill it up with all caulk, you can go ahead and do that. It just takes a little bit longer to dry. And then also, I didn't have enough caulk, so I just used the foam board to dummy it up, and then what I had, I just used that at the top. And like I said, it's the same concept. I added some fake sprinkles. I put the straws in, but this time around, to 2 of them, I put some gingerbread men, and they are also from Hobby Lobby, and for the pack, I paid $2. They're just little Christmas tree ornaments. Now, I decided to paint these little mugs white afterward because I wasn't even thinking, and I realized that they're pink and it just didn't match my vibe. So I ended up painting them white, and I did the same thing. I printed out tiny little faces, and I just stuck them to the front of the mugs. Now, I wanted to make smaller ones that I could stick inside of a tier tray, and I think it's so cute. I could put like 1 or 2 of the big ones inside of my tier tray, but I can't put all of them. So I decided to make smaller ones that I could apply to a smaller tier tray or inside of my bigger tier tray. So that is it for these Dollar Tree marshmallow cups. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I got so many questions about those mugs last year. I'll link what I saw on Amazon down in the not the comments, but in the description box below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was really easy to do, inexpensive, and like I said, you don't need a Cricut. It's just convenient to have one, but you just need a printer or some markers. Let me clarify this. By markers, I mean Sharpies or glass markers. You can't just use like regular school markers because it's gonna smear. You need something that's not really gonna smear. A Sharpie might smear at first, so don't like go rubbing it. Just let it dry, and then I think it should be good to go. If it's not, get glass markers, which Dollar Tree does carry. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.